You may not be able to take your RV on a trip to the Swiss Alps, but this U.S. destination is almost just as spectacular. Gorgeous mountains, beautiful wildflowers, abundance of wildlife, and glacial lakes that look so blue, they look fake. Have you guessed it yet? Come along with our family on a trip to Glacier National Park. We'll show you all the best sights to see and things to do for your next RV trip. Glacier National Park is known for its epic hiking trails, so no matter how much time you have, make time for at least one hike during your visit. However, the hiking trails in Glacier are kind of heavy duty. A lot of them are very long trails, 6, 8, 10 miles, and a lot of them are very steep. If you're looking for a little bit of a shorter hike but with a beautiful reward, check out the Hidden Lake Trail. It actually begins behind the Logan Pass Visitor Center and is about 2.6 miles round trip. It is steep, I will warn you, there's quite a few stairs, but it is worth it for the gorgeous views. If you've never visited Glacier National Park before, when you hear the name, you probably think of one thing. Glaciers, right? But I can bet you that once you visit this park, you will think of something else. The most famous part of this park is actually Going to the Sun Road. It's arguably the most scenic drive in all of America, and it provides some of the best views of the park without ever having to leave your car. In fact, it's a feat of engineering, and a landscape architect came up with the design. It's been thrilling visitors since 1933, and once you take this scenic drive, you will never be the same. There's a few important things to know about driving Going to the Sun Road, and this road is definitely not for everyone. In fact, it's restricted to vehicles that are under 21 feet long, 8 foot wide, and 10 feet tall, so it's not a fit for most RVs. Now, you can take the park shuttle system, that is an option, but a way more fun option is to take one of the historic red bus tours. And of course, that's what we had to do. The Red Bus tours are great because they are the original 1930s fleet of tour buses for the park. How cool is that? So you can hop aboard the Red Bus tour and leave the driving to someone else while you get to enjoy all of the scenery. The best part of the tour buses is that they are open air, and your driver will pull over sometimes and let you just stand up on top and film and look out of the top of the bus, which is super fun. In fact, this is the oldest touring fleet in the entire world, and the Red Buses still transport around 60,000 visitors each year through Glacier National Park. That's a lot of riders. Water is everywhere in Glacier National Park, and you don't have to go very far to find it. In fact, you can see a lot of magnificent waterfalls just by driving Going to the Sun Road. But if you're looking for a great waterfall hike, consider St. Mary Falls. It's only about 2.2 miles round trip, and it's a fairly easy hike to a beautiful double waterfall. If your hiking shoes still have some mileage left on them after reaching St. Mary Falls, keep going. Farther up the trail is Virginia Falls. This vertical waterfall is nothing short of stunning. The Great Northern Railroad was pivotal in the creation of Glacier National Park. Not only were their trains the primary way that visitors came to the park in the initial days, but they decided to create a campaign called See America First. In the early 1900s, Americans were primarily traveling to Europe on their vacations, and they wanted to change that and bring tourism to the American West. They began building chalets and hotels within Glacier National Park. They actually created 9, and they did them all with a very Swiss-style architecture. Then they coined the term America's Switzerland for Glacier National Park. The first Swiss architecture lodging built in the park was the Glacier Park Lodge, also known as the Big Tree Lodge. It's named this because of the enormous cedar pillars covered in bark that support the structure. It also has iconic real wood burning fireplaces throughout. If you're looking for a great, easy, family-friendly hike, check out Trail of the Cedars. It's a boardwalk loop trail that's accessible and perfect for kids small kids, and strollers. It's a beautiful forested hike with cedar trees, some of which are 500 years old. It's stunning. Then, if you want to continue on, come up to Avalanche Lake. This makes your round trip hike more like 4.5 miles, and it's a little bit steep at points, but it is worth it to see this gorgeous alpine lake with a waterfall. Of course, no trip to Glacier National Park is complete without getting out on the water, or any national park for that matter. It's easy to take a boat tour in Glacier National Park. In fact, there are many lakes to choose from. One great option is the mini glacier area. Here you actually get 2 lakes for the price of one. When you hop on a boat tour, you get to see both Swift Current Lake and Lake Josephine, and both are stunningly beautiful with waterfalls and glaciers, all of it. It's an epic boat tour. Even though a lot of the hoopla of the park is surrounding going to the Sun Road, I bet you still would like to see a glacier during your trip to the park. I know we did. The easiest glacier to spot in the park is actually Jackson Glacier, and that's one that you can see from the distance from a pullout on going to the Sun Road. However, to see a glacier up close and personal is a little bit more challenging. The most popular glacier in the park is a long hike to Grinnell Glacier, and it leaves from the Mini Glacier Hotel. However, it's an over 10-mile hike, and I'll be honest with you, it is a bit grueling. However, you can take the park's shuttle boat to shave a couple miles off this hike. But wow, if you are up for the challenge, this is a hike that you will not soon forget. One of the toughest decisions that you'll need to make when planning an RV trip to Glacier National Park is where to stay. Most RVers choose either West Glacier or East Glacier, but how can you decide? We decided to stay on both sides of the park, 1 week on each side, so I can give you some great insight here. East Glacier is the quiet side of the park. While there may not be as many restaurants, gas stations, and shopping opportunities, it's so much easier to get in and out of the park, and it's quiet. You also do not need a reservation to enter on this side. On the west side, the biggest drawback is that you need a timed vehicle entry reservation to get on going to the Sun Road. So this can be a little bit of a planning hang-up if you are not prepared for that. However, on the west side of the park, there's plenty of shopping opportunities and restaurants. So it really depends on how you want your RV trip to be. Glacier National Park is a dream RV trip with world-famous scenic drives on going to the Sun Road, over 200 waterfalls filling gorgeous alpine lakes, historic lodges, and of course the fun red bus tour, and meadows just teeming with wildlife and wildflowers. It really looks like something straight out of the Sound of Music movie. Glacier National Park is a destination that you will never forget. This is why we RV.